Should I start? Okay. Good morning, Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Today you've been listening on a case having to do with some gruesome things that Columbus men are in fact guilty of committing, including murder to thousands of Tainos, rape to women, mistreatment, and enslavement. But all I ask is that you please keep an open mind about this case until you hear all the evidence. I'm going to start this case with the defendant, Christopher Columbus. Columbus is brave, smart, and determined, but behind this romanticized portrayal is some gruesome reality. Columbus's discovery is probably the only thing everyone is familiar with, but behind the scenes, it's a very different story. Christopher took the role of an ignorant white settler and abused his power. He demanded that Native Americans work for him and other settlers. He forced hundreds of Tainos into slavery. He shipped a couple thousand slaves over the ocean to Spain in order to be sold. Countless people died on the way. He devastated the population in order to control the population. He brutally executed people with different mindsets. But of course, to keep his fantastic reputation, he had his men do all the dirty work. Columbus stated numerous times that his men were such a wrecked bunch. He described them as stupid, superstitious, and cowardly. Columbus had a plan. He had his ways. His plan was if anything bad happened, like murder or slavery, it was to be blamed on men. Columbus's men were led to believe that advanced nations were to dominate backward nations. Columbus's men were under his spell. They had no say. The men of Columbus were either ignored or held in contempt. I'm going to continue with the plaintiff, Queen Isabel and King Ferdinand. King and Queen is nothing more than a label in this case. Queen Isabel and King Ferdinand had a goal, and that was money to spread Christianity. All the king and queen really wanted was the tremendous profits that could be secured by finding a western passage to the Indies. Any king and queen would want the money of discovery. All the king and queen really wanted was to spread Christianity. The queen burned people who weren't really Christians at the stake. The queen wasn't a stranger to cruel punishment and actions. They had no mercy over their people. They had this system in our society where the stronger would take over. Their way of handling things were unorganized and had an unusual way of handling things. As for the Tainos, they aren't as innocent as you think. They're just as aggressive. They shot arrows to the Spaniards. They let their own women be sex slaves. At all this time, we've been caring about the Tainos and feeling bad, but we are missing the big picture. Thank you, Your Honor.